On this episode of Murder We Heard TV, let me tell you the story of 19-year-old Miss Sade Robinson, who was murdered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A bright black college student gone far too soon, her promise silenced in one violent night. On April 1st, 2024, Sade went on a date at a local bar and restaurant.
Quote, staying at the Twisted Fisherman to meet a female for a first date.
You don't think that someone who is going to take you to a place where they were employed for a first date, you don't think that they would do anything harmful to you.
Stepping out in early spring weather for what she thought would be casual drinks and laughter. Nothing more. After the date was over, surveillance footage captured her and her date driving away in her car. The camera shows Sade sliding behind the wheel of her gray Honda Civic, her date easing into the passenger seat, the tail lights blinking as they disappeared into Milwaukee's dark streets.
The friend told police that Sade's last known location was at Duke's on Water, a sports bar near the Milwaukee River. Her Snapchat location was from the day before, on April 1st.
It was the last time anyone ever saw her, a grainy clip that would become the world's final living image of Sade. The following day, she failed to show up for work.
So the same evening that the severed leg is found, investigators first hear the name Sade Robinson when a friend reported her missing at about 9 p.m. She worked at a Milwaukee restaurant called Pizza Shuttle, but didn't show up for her shift that day.
She had not been in contact with any of her friends or family, and she was reported missing to police. Her mama's voicemail filled to the brim, so by sundown, her best friend and her mother stood at the precinct, filing the paperwork no loved one wants to sign. But in the hours before the report was made, police in Milwaukee had begun making a series of disturbing and unsettling discoveries that would eventually lead them to the truth.
A suspicious death investigation underway following a gruesome discovery.
It's shocking. I've never covered anything like this before.
No human deserves this.
We're finding body parts everywhere.
Before we knew anything, people immediately started shouting, serial killer.
It's scary that, you go on a first date with somebody and this is what you have to worry about.
It's the worst feeling a mother could ever have.
This is Sade's story. Graduate on time, land a criminal justice internship, stack enough tips to level up her first apartment, but the ink never had a chance to dry. Before tassels, before diplomas, before the celebrations her mama already pictured, Sade was murdered. The shock rolled through Milwaukee like thunder.
The news day took a turn. Halfway through the day or so, we get a note from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office.
Some breaking news tonight and an investigation underway after a bizarre discovery.
A park goer had spotted a severed human leg in a park along the southern shore of Lake Michigan in Milwaukee County.
Right over my shoulder is the access to Lake Michigan, which was blocked up until now. So here's what we know. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says the leg was found in or near the water today at the park. It was east of the golf course by the pump house. A 12 News camera captured detectives looking near the shore in that area.
Nothing brings back the mornings Sade should have woken up and chased her dreams. Sade will never breathe the life she deserved, and that truth stings every single day. When a case like this hits the news, headlines pop, clicks climb, details blur, and the heart of it, the girl, the people who loved her, too often gets lost. To those who knew Sade, she was flesh and laughter, homework and playlists. Sade Robinson entered this world on May 10th, 2004 in Vicksburg, Mississippi, born to Sheena Scarborough and Carlos Robinson. She spent her first year under Mississippi sunshine. Then the family packed up and headed north to Milwaukee, where she grew up in a house buzzing with her mother and grandparents. Her mom remembers a curious little girl who questioned everything. Why is the sky blue? How do planes fly? And then chased the answer. Elementary school Sade played soccer on Saturdays, sold Thin Mints as a proud Girl Scout on Sundays, keeping her calendar full. Dad lived down in Florida, so childhood summers meant beach sand and Disney trips. Sade learned early how to split time and spread love in 2 states. As she inched toward her teens, new passions bloomed, rapping verses into her phone mic, freestyling dance steps in the living room, even trying ballroom once because, why not? She was the type to say yes first, figure it out later. She came back to Milwaukee full-time, suitcase in one hand, purpose in the other. Sade locked in at school, ground through every class, and hustled so hard she graduated a whole semester early, walking out in December 2021 while her classmates still had winter break homework. Right after the cap and gown came off, she signed up at Milwaukee Area Technical College, picked criminal justice as her major, and told anybody who asked that she planned to protect and serve, but do it right. College life hit fast, so she stepped out of mama's house, signed her first lease, and called a tiny one-bedroom her kingdom. Bills needed paying, so she kept clocking in at Pizza Shuttle on Milwaukee's east side, a gig she'd held since she was 15. Classes by day, Pizza Rush by night wasn't enough, so in 2022 she added a second paycheck at the Wisconsin Country Club on the north side. 2 jobs, full course load, rent, Wi-Fi, groceries. Most folks would fold. Sade never blinked. Like her friend said, she was unstoppable. She wrote her goals on neon sticky notes, slapped them on the fridge, and knocked them down one by one. People always say nice things when someone dies. Sometimes it sounds rehearsed. But every line I read about Sade, how she lit up a room, how she made folks feel seen, never felt like cliche, only fact. By 2024, she was weeks away.
Working her 2 jobs, so close to graduating, and she was about to receive her Associate of Arts degree. She also was dedicated to wanting to join the military and the Air Force. We are a military family.
April 1st, 2024 became the day everything flipped for Sade and her people. She had a date, and she was hyped about it. A neighbor in her building later told investigators that Sade couldn't stop smiling, kept saying how much she was looking forward to the evening. The date was with Maxwell Anderson, 33, last known job tending bar. Nobody's sure how their paths crossed. Maybe a swipe on Tinder or Bumble. Maybe small talk at his bar. However they met, the plan was set, the night was young, and Sade drove off believing it would be just another story to text her girls about, never knowing it would be her last. At 4:15 p.m., Sade hits his phone. "Where are we meeting?" "I'm good for 5. He shoots back, says downtown works. She clocks the text, answers, "Okay, thumbs ready, vibe light." Maxwell follows with another ping, Brat House on 3rd, and she's cool with that, so it's set, or so she thinks. 2 minutes later, he flips the script, says he's jumping in the shower, might roll in 5:15-ish, asks if they can switch to Twisted Fisherman so he can grab last year's W-2. He swears they can just eat there. She laughs through the screen, types, "I love seafood," those exact words, and locks the new plan. Sade owns a silver Civic, so she decides she'll meet him. 5:20 p.m., she parks at Twisted Fisherman, smooths her edges, steps inside. Maxwell is already perched at the bar, clock just past 5. She spots him, glides over, takes the stool to his right. They order rounds and plates, shrimp, fries, tall drinks, sweating on coasters. Bar staff remember easy smiles and low-key talk. An hour in, they push out. Night still young, city lights popping, so they plot a second spot. Maxwell didn't drive, nobody knows why, so he slides into her passenger seat and they head for Duke's on Water. Security cam at the lot tags them right at 6:30 p.m., then loses them to neon. Inside Duke's, more drinks, more chatter. 9:05 p.m., tapes roll again. The pair exit, climb into her Civic, tail lights blink, downtown fades behind them. But the car angles toward his side of town and vanishes from every lens. Next morning, April 2nd, 2024, Pizza Shuttle pre-lunch, but Sade's station sits empty. She never misses, so the manager calls. Phone rings out. Mom, friends, group chats do the same. Nothing. By afternoon, silence has weight. By evening, it's panic. 9 p.m., her best friend marches into District 3, files the paperwork, tells the desk sergeant Sade ghosted work, ghosted everyone. Last snap showed her at Duke's. Cops hesitate, still shy of 24 hours, but they throw out a be on the lookout all the same. Sade's circle starts calling hospitals, scrolling social, driving her usual routes. She is that friend who always texts back, even if it's just an emoji, so the hush feels wrong. Midnight passes, no ping, no post. Sunrise, 7:32 a.m. Milwaukee Fire gets a call. Car blazing near 35th and Lisbon. Crew rolls up, finds a 2020 Civic charred nose to trunk. They kill the flames, log the VIN, tow the shell. No one on scene knows it's Sade's. Hours later, as afternoon heat settles, Milwaukee County Sheriff gets another call, this time from Ware Nature Center Beach. A walker spots what looks like a human leg, dark skin, bright nail polish, right there in the sand. Deputies bag the remains, forensic text measure. Victim about 5 feet 0, female. News of the leg bounces back to MPD. An officer who'd run the welfare check on Sade's place connects the dots. Missing 5-foot-tall woman, burned Civic, severed limb, all in one day. Plates on the torched car come back to her. Suddenly 2 scenes, 1 victim, big trouble. Detectives hit her apartment, talk to the maintenance guy. Sheriff's team pings Verizon, pulls her call log. Last thread is a 262 number, Maxwell Anderson. They race to Twisted Fisherman, watch the footage. There she is, there he is, side by side, timestamp locked. Owner confirms Maxwell did come by for a W-2. Bartender backs it up, says yeah, he mentioned a first date. By April 3rd, the puzzle is clearer but not complete. A friend hands cops Sade's Life 360 data, shows her phone stopped moving near Vare Beach at 4:33 a.m. April 2nd, battery dead 2 minutes later. Burned car, severed leg, digital breadcrumb, last known companion. Story turns from missing person to likely homicide, and Milwaukee braces for what comes next. Sade's phone lit up one last time at 4:33 a.m. April 2nd. Life 360 dropped the pin right inside Ware Park, the same stretch of shoreline where that leg was later found. Detectives backtracked the map, watched the digital breadcrumbs from April 1st into the early hours of April 2nd. The dots told a story no one wanted to hear. She leaves Duke's, drives toward Maxwell's block, parks, stays put for hours. After that, the signal drifts through a handful of side streets, quick pauses, quick moves before settling in the park. 4:35 a.m. The app goes dark, battery dead, lifeline cut. With that timeline locked, the missing person file flipped to homicide, and every arrow pointed at Maxwell Anderson, the last man to see our sister alive. Probable cause stacked up fast, so the DA greenlit 2 papers, an arrest warrant and a search warrant. 1:07 p.m., April 4th, traffic stop on 35th Street, lights flash, Maxwell in cuffs. Cops hit his house next. They strip the bedding, find blood. They sweep the basement stairwell, find more blood. They open the garage, count gasoline cans lined like soldiers. Word of the arrest shoots across Milwaukee. A young black woman, first date, murdered. Every sister, every mother, every friend feels that chill. While Maxwell waits in County Orange, detectives keep digging because charges need weight. April 6th, 2 days later, they walk the burn site again. A detective spots a severed foot in the weeds. Same polish, same clean white tips. They bag it, rush it to the ME, match confirmed. Screen shows 2 figures, one blue jacket, one umbrella, walking west. A third figure with a tan backpack crosses south. Blue jacket freezes, points, waves cars down, yells, "He did that," begging somebody to call the fire department. Blue jacket later tells police a white man climbed out of Sade's Honda, sparked the blaze, and strolled off. Detectives trace tan backpack on more cams, watch him board the northbound 35 bus. Clear shot of his face. They line that frame beside Maxwell's booking photo. Same jaw, same eyes, same hoodie they pulled from his trunk. April 13th, 2024. Formal charges land. First-degree murder, mutilating a corpse, arson. Trial was slated for December 9th, then kicked back. Courts move slow, grief does not. Sade's family still wakes to silence, no verdict can fill. The evidence is rough, the details worse, but they hold on because truth matters, and justice, even slow, is still justice. We will watch that courtroom, and we will bring you every update. Since Sade was taken, her circle has carried a weight words barely hold. Media boiled her life down to first date murder, but her people know bigger truths. She was energy and plans, late night FaceTimes, inside jokes, rides to class, playlists on repeat. She was a daughter, a sister, a best friend, a bright black girl with vision and drive. The world lost that light, and nothing fixes that.
Sade is me. She's all of us. She's every little girl that wanted to be loved.
A flood of pink. Pink tape wrapped around trees. Pink balloons filled the front porch, and pink spray paint spelled out justice for Sade.
This is a waking nightmare. I couldn't literally move or do anything. And then I'm just looking at the news and I'm seeing like, oh my gosh, they did pink outs. And I mean, people are just showing up and going so strong and hard for my baby.
What do you want the message to be?
That she was loved.
Community members like Dee Dee Davis and Nicole Green say they didn't know Robinson, but that didn't matter.
If it happens to somebody else's child, it might as well have happened to mine.
Our number one priority is getting Sade's justice. But at the same time, Sade is speaking to me and she wants us to be able to help others and be able to tell their stories as well. This is very important that the awareness and attention of the numbers with the rates of why it's more primarily Black women.
A Columbia University study found that Black women were 20 times more likely to be murdered in Wisconsin than white women.
Scarborough joining state lawmakers LaTanya Johnson and Sheila Stubbs in calling for a statewide task force on missing and murdered African American women and girls.
What is the commonality in these cases that's the actual cause for making them so vulnerable? Finding that out, it's gonna work wonders in making sure that we can actually safeguard and protect their lives.
Friends and family say that they're working on starting a nonprofit called Sade's Voice to support the families of missing Black women and children.
Sade's Voice Foundation is a nonprofit that advocates for other missing and murdered individuals in the community. Our focus is to be the voice and carry on her light and advocate for others.
We need to just be out here and support the family with peace, kindness, and compassion, and let the Lord do the revenge.
So we say her name. We honor her. May Sade Robinson rest in power and in peace. Thank you for riding with Murder We Heard TV tonight. If this story hit home, show some love. Tap the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe so the next time we tell another story, you're right here with us.